Nice interior cleaning here. Yeah, it even came with a full tank of fuel. Look at that. This wasn't full when we went to look at this. So what we're gonna do now is we've got to sign some paperwork from this gentleman here. All right, this trailer here has the wheels on it for the 8320 here. We're just waiting for this guy to get opened up and we're gonna get him unloaded. Tractor came on Friday and it is now Monday, and we have a load of seed corn here as well. Why don't you run up and unload Mike, the seed corn, get that inside up there, and we'll use the telehandler to get the duals off. Good thing you didn't bring these the other day. It was real windy. This thing would be a joke, wouldn't it, in the wind? Alright, we got these unloaded and we'll be able to get these on here shortly. That guy don't speak very good English. No. So, but at least they got him here. It's a good thing they didn't bring them right behind the tractor when it came when the wind was blowing. That'd be like a kite opening that trailer up, huh? Yeah. Well, alright, you got to use the telehandler again? You're all done with the telehandler? Okay. Well, today is the day we are going to get the duals on this 8320. It's been a week or so since the duals have gotten here. This tractor came on a Friday. The duals were delivered here a week ago today. Today is Monday, April 5th. When I bought this tractor, I had 12 weights on the front. I ended up taking 10 off of the 8360 and I put them on this tractor to make a full rack of 22 weights. We're going to need the additional weight on this tractor just because of the weight of the corn planter on the 3-point hitch. Plus I like to put seed corn on the front weights if I need a bag or two, and then that's a good spot to put a couple of bags on there and strap them down. However, it's going to be a little trickier on this tractor. The 7290 had that piece of angle iron that came up in the back, and that kept them from falling backwards. So it might not work as great on this tractor. I don't want bags to fall down and bend up that grill. The first order of business here is we're going to change the large 1000 PTO shaft over to the small 1000. Most of these tractors have the large 1000 RPM only shaft on it. However, this tractor is capable of doing 1000 RPM and 540. And then this adapter that's on the floor here is the adapter that we're gonna put in there once we pull that rear shaft out. And this adapter is gonna allow us to either run it at 540 or small 1000. There's 4 cap screws that hold that module in. This has never been into this tractor, and I ended up running a tap into them holes. It's just 10mm bolts that hold that in there. I ran a tap into it just to clean up the threads. We'll pull the snap ring, pull that out, and slap that one in there. All right, so we're just gonna reach in here. Most of the smaller tractors kind of, now you can change them PTO shaft over about the same way, but you just pull this one out. I'm gonna set that there out of the way. We've got a little speed collar that slides into there. I'm gonna slide that in. Well, I better put some anti-seize on this just so that it'll come apart in the event that we have to change back over to the large 1000. The only thing that we have that runs large 1000 is the spreaders and the bush hog. Everything else that we have is small 1000. The Pottinger mower, that's got the large shaft on it as well, but oh, that's a big old boot. But that doesn't, that won't be going on this tractor because it doesn't have a front hitch on it. So I've anti-seized that up, and this module, that just shoves in there. Oh, it probably wouldn't hurt if I gooped up the end of this as well, just because it's a dry shaft, unlike like your 4450s and whatever else like that. Now the 7290, that had a shaft that went into it, and you could pull the shaft out. You could change over to the large 1000 or the 540 just by snap ringing the shafts in and out. This one here, this has cap screws that hold this module in. So we'll go ahead and get these cap screws in there, get them tightened up, and then we're going to start putting the duals on here. Well, we got this side set. We ended up having to change the dish on the front wheel. That was set out a little too wide, so we had to take the dish off, flip the tire over, flip the dish over onto the other side. And then we also had to move the hub for the dual in about 3.5 to 4 inches. So now we're right in line. We're set for 30-inch corn rows on this left side. The inner tire on the right is set. However, we need to do the same to this side. We got to move that hub in a little bit, and then we've got to put the front dual on. So why don't you go ahead and back her outside, Garrett. Just turn it around and then back it in. Looks kind of funny with duals on just that one side. Kind of set up right now to moldboard plow in the furrow. Oh, these are valuable. I can't be losing these. The weather is definitely getting to the point where we need to be getting into the field here. So, now you can come back a little farther. We've actually got some seedings that we need to touch up a little bit here, so that's good. Alright, we had the same problem on this side as we had on the other side. You can clearly see where this dual hub sets. It only bolts in 6 spots, and then there's 4 bolts that hold the center on there. So I took the bolts out of the other side to 6 spots. I'm looking at the bolts. I'm like, boy, there's not a lot of length here because this is about 1 inch thick here. There's only about this much thread on the bolt, so I figured I would take out one of the other bolts, and they had all the bolts mixed up, and this side was the same way. We had long ones. Well, it was like 6 in a row, and then 4 short ones. So we've just changed these around too. Now that would probably hold and probably not be a problem, but there would only be this much thread holding the dual on. So we've got it on the forklift. We're just going to set this hub on there, put them 6 bolts in that hold that, and then we can put the dual on. Good thing you're watching things, right? Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and set that on there. All right, so we have just discovered that this tractor hub assembly is actually not put together right. What there is a oil level plug here, and then you run that, well, it's got to be level across the center, so you can check it from this hole. You can fill from that hole too, but what it has on this spacer hub is it has a hole right here so that you could take that oil level plug out. So we discovered that we couldn't put this on in the right position because it can only go in these spots here. So it was clocked wrong. However, we can't just, this one here has got to be mounted here, but the way this orientation is, it just does not work that way. So we have to clock it, and what we're going to have to do is pull this spacer hub off. We've got to take the 2 bolts that are actually holding the rim on, and we've got to move them. We've got to move this bolt here up into this hole, and the same with that one. We've got to move it 1 set of holes so that we can get this check plug hole to work out correctly. And then that way, in order to check the hub, oil, and fill it, you can do it by not having to take your dual off and your spacer and do all that monkey business. So I don't know when this tractor was put together. It might have been put together from the dealership when it was brand new, and it is getting corrected right now. Oh, is there enough weight off of that tire? I think so. We need one of them scuff pads to clean that up. I have already checked the oil on this hub, by the way. I did that here when we greased the whole tractor, so this is all set. Okay, so now here like that, and then short bolts. Here's the difference in length of these bolts. Right there's about an inch or so difference in those. Now we are going to torque these. I've got my shoulders set for 400 foot-pounds. My shoulder's bad, so I can feel that. Now we ought to be able to set our spacer into place, and that is going to be clocked right. Rear end took a dump on the Freightliner today, by the way. So Jared's got the 900 hauling. Whoa. Off a little more. Alright, so up until this point, I've been working on this alone. And Garrett got done moving feed and he came down and helped me, and we were starting to put this together, and he said this isn't right. He said, you got a hole on there, where does that match up to? And I got looking and I said, well, that's your oil check hole. So we're probably gonna have to take the other side apart too, and now it is together the way it should be. So nothing like redoing the other side too, right, Bob? If only you got down here earlier, you could have had that figured out for me, but I know it. So the other side is not in the right spot either. I slammed this together and I didn't realize that there was a hole in that hub. So yeah, it's down right there, and we might get lucky on this one. We might not have to move the spacer ring. We might be able to just turn that center. They say you learn something every day, Garrett. They say you learn it every day. And we're learning. We're learning today. All right, we've got these 6 bolts holding the spacer on. We've got them torqued, and if you look, this hole is lined right up to the check plug hole, which you really don't need to do what we did to make sure everything is in the right orientation, because you could just take that center plug out right there and check it from there, but it's kind of hard to see in there. Once you got the tire on, you're kind of looking down through this hole here. So if you're able to take that plug out there, you could just get the plug to the center mark, take it out, turn the wheel a little bit. If you got oil coming out, then you know you're where you gotta be. And it's also easier to fill from that hole there up top and then let it run out that center one right there. So these duals are going to be on there a long time, so it's best to have this done the right way, I suppose. And I just did not pay attention to this hole here, so I wonder how many tractors across the country are put together the wrong way. You know that, bud? Yeah. All right, time for the dual. Well, we've got the left side all put together the correct way. We even moved the inner wheel in some and blew all the crap out that was underneath the cab. And we took this left side apart, and this is clocked wrong too, so we got to pull the outer hub off. We got to move the wheel stud and clock that the correct way, because here is our plug hole, inspection hole right here, and then we've got to move that so it is in the center. We just got to turn it one hole. All right, just got to tighten these bolts up, and we've got this one now in the right spot. Check plug is right there. So we'll tighten that up, get the wheel back on there. Nothing like doing things twice, but all right, folks, that's what it looks like with the duals all on there. The first assignment that it has is it's going to run this 20-foot potting here. We've got a couple of washouts to fix in some fields that we seeded down here last fall, and then we've got some seedings to repair as well. So that's going to do it, folks. I want to thank you for watching, and we will catch you at the next video.